Hello everybody, my name is Cheesy Chaplin and this is a CK2 speedrun of the By Jupiter achievement. It's essentially a copied run. I followed the run of the other guy who did it on speedrun.com. There'll be a bunch of links down in the description if I've remembered to do them. Hopefully, let's everybody cross your fingers. See if I didn't forget. I'll link to speedrun.com and his video. La-di-da. Essentially, it's a relatively straightforward one. We need to reform the Hellenic faith as quickly as possible, and that is it. So, if you want to do it quickly, you're going to need to start as the Byzantine Empire, and the fastest way that I can see. I didn't do a tremendous amount of research. I watched his and then did it. It's to start in 867 and to go from there. So yeah, this is actually my second take, because on my first take I wasn't recording my audio and it just recorded me watching the footage of the game. So that was really fun. I really enjoyed that when I found out about that. At least I only got about 10 minutes through the recording, so it's not the end of the world, everybody. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, well, I mean, I'll have to go through everything again, basically. So this is going to be super exciting. As you can see, we're currently in a war with the Aghlabids, and we need to defend ourselves. So this will just involve chasing down their army a bunch of times, raising all of our armies, and just stomping them. They're really easy. It's a really easy first war. You get like 1,000 ducats from it. It's so perfect. It's it's the perfect starting condition for any kind of run. Starting as the Byzantines in 867 is probably the best position. It's the most interesting position, at least I find. I love it. Of course, there's always the Mongols, and the Mongols are ridiculous, and also nomads. Nomads are broken. But beyond that, the Byzantines, probably my favourite. So yeah, there's not a lot to say at this point in the run. There's nothing that interesting going on. We are revoking some county titles at the moment. You may have noticed that we already revoked their duchies, or as they're called, are they themes? I think they're themes. And there is a reason why we're doing that. We're not just getting some land, because that would be a bit silly. We don't really need the land. So yeah, to be able to reform any paganistic faith, you're going to need to build up some authority. Some is it faith authority? I can't remember the right term. You need to build up the authority, and the best way to do that is to get the holy sites. And it just so happens that we have 3 of them, and it just so happens that I've revoked the county titles where the temples are. Where the temples are. So we're currently revoking all of the temples. As you can see, we get to this one and it says no because we don't have enough prestige, so we go back to fighting. Now, I think, yeah, I would have preferred to have already converted by now, but I did a couple of practice runs and I was able to convert before that. I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think you actually get any piety from it, other than you just get some prestige and a lot of money. But yeah, so we're revoking the last one now, and when we do that, we'll be able to convert ourselves over to Hellenism, and Hellenism, who knows, and we'll be able to really start this run off. This is where the run really begins. The rest of it is just set up, and at this point it becomes a race, because it's not much you can do to speed up the Aghlabid war. And I mean, maybe you don't have to fight it. I don't see why you wouldn't. Maybe you don't need to. I hadn't even tried. So yeah, we've dished out the temples, and we just promoted a commander. This gives a martial individual of our faith and our culture, and that allows us to grant him a county title, a duchy title, and then the Kingdom of Greece. And there's a reason why we do that. We do that because then we can transfer the vassals to him, which is very, very important if you don't want a civil war to happen where 30,000 men are breathing down your neck and you've only got 10,000 to defend yourself. Not exactly ideal position for a speedrun. You've got other things to be worrying about. So we're just transferring some vassals. I'm not entirely sure which of these vassals come up, why they come up. It seems to be somewhat random. I really cannot tell. I don't know why these ones come up. Sometimes you're able to get basically every single vassal under their control, which would be ideal. And sometimes you can't. And I don't know why. So on this one we actually got quite a few of the vassals. I think there are only a handful that didn't go to them. And the reason we do that is because then we can just raise all our vassals in one go. You do lose some of the army, but it's absolutely worth it for the speed. We don't really need so many men, and we can use our own armies, our own personal levies to deal with that. At the moment we're just putting some favourable people on the council. It's not massively important, but it does reduce the chance that you're going to get assassinated, which is never ideal. You don't want to be 95% way through the run and it's, you know, it's on a world record pace and then suddenly you die. So better safe than sorry. It really doesn't change anything about how quickly the run goes, other than the real time, which no one cares about anyways. So there you go. We've declared a couple of conquest wars. This is the second way to increase the authority. Every time you win a conquest war, you get 1%. Is it moral authority? Oh, I don't know. I should have checked. I should have made notes. I didn't make any notes. Oh well. Regardless, yeah, that you get 1% authority per conquest war if you win, of course. Which would mean in our current state of 30 authority, we would need to win 20 conquest wars. That would take a while. We're not going to just do conquest wars. In an ideal world, we'd be able to do holy wars. Holy wars are fantastic. I think they give you 3% per holy war. They're a little bit more dangerous. Nearby rulers of the same faith will probably join defense, but it depends on the scenario. It depends on the situation of each individual place. Holy wars can sometimes be better. It really does depend. But as we are a non-reformed pagan, we don't get that choice. We just have conquest wars. So yeah, we're just going to do these conquest wars through the Sicilian warlords, as it were. You know, counts, dukes, etc. There are a number of them, and you can declare them in twos, which means that you only need to raise your armies 3 times, and you can get 6% authority, which is a lot quicker than having to do it 6 times individually. So that will save you a lot of time. The reason we're going through Sicily and not going to the east, where we could probably declare 4 wars at a time, probably pretty dangerous. The realms are relatively large, so it's not that ideal. The reason we're going through that is because there is a large amount of authority to be had once we have completed our conquests down here in the Italian boot. And we'll get to that. At the moment we're chasing down wow, I don't know what they're called. Are they Bari? Are they just called Bari? I don't know. Doesn't say. We've chased down the enemy army. They went around, so I saw them sieging down Orvieto, so we went up to meet them in Rome. And that's enough to do it. Sordinids, the Sordinids, perfect. As you can see, we're just giving all the land to the new Hellenic Greek despot. It's just a lot easier. You don't have to deal with being overextended. What is this E for? You don't have to deal with being over your domain limit, which you don't want to be dealing with that at the moment. It's just not necessary, and he'll automatically dish it out, so it's just a lot faster. Me looking around for some troops and then realizing, oh, I never gave Syracuse away. So again, here you go. Here's Syracuse. Enjoy. We'll do that a lot in this run. We're gonna just do that again and again and again and again. I just have no time, no time for dealing with all of these silly titles. So, looking to see if I could do a three-way. Wasn't on the cards. Obviously, I didn't border them. I don't know why I tried. I thought I was hopeful. Maybe, you never know. Maybe the game's changed in the last five minutes I played it. You know, got to be hopeful, right? So yeah, again another double war. This time against Amalfi Benevento. It's a little bit trickier. Benevento is they have a suzerain of Italy, so that's not like putting it. Italy is Benevento's suzerain, meaning that they are basically their liege. They're like their half liege, and as you can see, they just came into the war. That's not ideal. They don't always come into the war. In my experience, they usually do. But as you can see, we're now facing about 9,000 men. They're breathing down us. We've just managed to get our domain levy here. Our personal levy here. And the Beneventian? The troops of Benevento have just engaged us in Salerno as we landed, which is good because we just captured them in battle, which meant that we can easily and just instantly end the war. No having to deal with that 5,000 men, 5,000 Italian men. Perfect. That was quite lucky. It would have taken probably another couple of months, maybe 3. Otherwise, I think that battle. We would have won the battle. We would have won the battle because we had 9,000 men and they only had 5,000 at that point. But yeah, I don't know where the Amalfian army went. They just seemed to just run off. They're sieging Lecca, it looks like, so they're in Brundisian. I don't know why. It didn't help them. And yeah, again, all the land goes to our favourite despot. So you may have been able to see very briefly, we've got 34 authority now. So we're still 16 off, so that'd still be another 16 individual wars that we'd have to go through. Which is, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Yeah, moral authority. It was moral authority. Cool. Okay, moral authority it is. We'll continue from here. So this is me realizing in the other run I had, in the practice run, I actually there was a faction that wanted to declare independence, and I just said, you know what, screw it, sure, enjoy, you're free. Which actually worked out really well because then my Greek despot started doing conquest wars on all of them, which was very nice. So I actually didn't have to fight anyone else but these southern Italians over in Sicily. So that worked out really nicely. It still turned out longer. I don't know how it turned out longer. It took about a year longer. So whatever happened there, not sure. I was just going to siege this down, but the troops just weren't enough. So I called up my levies. And this is one of a couple, maybe 2 or 3 pretty crucial errors in judgment of this run. As it stands, there's just not been enough activity on the category for it to have really been a problem. I knew I'd still be able to get the time in, but I mean, if you look at the HRE achievement, for instance, that has been honed down. Like a day matters there, but I mean here, weeks, months, who cares? Who cares? It's fine. Maybe there's a bit more activity, I'll play a bit more carefully, but I just wanted to get this one out. So yeah, so we brought our own troops over, and then we're going to catch the army in Benevento just before they siege down the province. Neapolis decide we're out, we're done, we've dealt with it, meaning that we can just easily crush the army. Not that we wouldn't have anyways. Crush them a little bit more, put them into the dust. So we're nearly 2/3 of the way through this run now, about 2/3 of the way through, and we still got a few wars to go. Actually, in an ideal run, this would be the penultimate war that we had just finished, and we would only have one final war to go, and it would be perfect and ideal. But that is not this run. In the future, I'm sure that run will come out. But as it stands, we've still got to get 4 more moral authority, which actually we only need 3 more moral authority before our final war, and you'll see why. I'm sure some of you will already know. If any of you have actually looked into doing this run, you already know what's coming. But for the few of you who are actually genuinely engaged and interested and want to know what the hell is going to go on, you'll find out very shortly. So I almost declared war on the K sites here, but my little despot was close enough. I just let him do it. So yeah, it's frustrating sometimes. The despot will come out with 5k troops every time you raise it, and it's just beautiful, and you'll just walk every single war. But again, that was not this run. So we've had to call on a few of our other vassals. And this, again, this is another of the mistakes. I should have just stayed in Tyna. I did not. And this could have been really bad, but we hung on by the absolute skin of our teeth with one commander, and it was just a pack of soldiers leading themselves here, and we just won, and we captured him in battle. What a lucky break that was. You could see me moving my mouse around there. I was so surprised at the time. That could have been, I mean, I might have restarted at that point, because that could have taken another half a year, bringing over the troops, having to deal with the negative war score. Just not worth it, just not worth it. But luckily that did not happen. We're all good, and we're able to move on. I was going to just go for this battle, but I know what mountains can do to armies, so I just sent them over to Melatine. It's going to be a slow siege, so I just thought, let's just bring in the troops again. Maybe a better strategy would be to bring in the troops every single time. Maybe. It's tricky to say. It takes a certain amount of time to do it, and ideally you'd just be able to call up a vassal and use their army instead. But alas, no. Me double checking, is there a siege guy? Do we have anyone who's a siege guy? Has anyone become a siege guy? No, no, and no. It's bad luck, but we've had enough good luck in this run. I think it evens out. I really do. So yeah, we're just wrapping up this war. Really, it's again, like all the other ones in this run, pretty straightforward. We brought in our own troops, and we're just gonna go and crush them. So, in a situation like this, where we outnumber them nearly, 4-1 basically, it's a cakewalk. If it's 2-1 in mountains, and they have good commanders, which I don't know, they may have. They didn't have any good commanders, but they may have. That could have been brutal. And again, these 2 wars could have gone really badly. They could have gone really, really badly. I was very lucky that they didn't. This little This little war here, not so much. The first war, definitely. This one is pretty straightforward. So that's the moralists dealt with, and we now have 39 moral authority. Again, dealing out a title. Interestingly, at this point, he's actually declared war on what's his face down there, the one we captured. This is me. This is just me being a bit OCD. I had to give him the titles underneath. In a normal run, in a normal game of CK2, you always want to do that. Oh shit. This is the war. This is the war. This is the big one. This is what matters. I also swore. Oops. Don't demonetize me. I'm not monetizing the video anyways. I don't even have enough subscribers. I don't even have. Who cares? Anyways, the Roman War. Rome versus Rome. Who will win? You decide. Yes, realistically. So why are we doing this war? If you know stuff about CK2, you'll know that Rome is a holy site for a number of religions. I think Christianity, Orthodoxy, I think also straight paganism. Not that you can be a straight pagan. And then naturally all the heretic religions. Everybody loves Rome. Everybody loves Rome. And so do the Hellenics. The Hellenics also love Rome. And this here, this is another mistake. I thought I put the navy into going to them into that tile. I didn't at all. This is really stupid. And then I also do this as well. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, no, that'll be the right navy. No, it was not the right navy. And then I panicked a little bit, but it's fine. Raised up our own navy and then brought them over. And by the time these guys are walking over, regardless, I mean that's basically the same time. It didn't really cost any more time, so it wasn't so bad. So yeah, what do we actually need to reform the Hellenic faith? Well, we need at least 3 of the holy sites, which is another reason why we took the 3 holy sites. Be much faster. Regardless, you should always get the holy sites because of how much moral authority they give you. But also, you do need at least 3. You need 50% moral authority. And you also need 750 piety. Now, in this run, piety wasn't even a problem. We were able to get enough of it because I actually declared a few more conquest wars. So by this point, I'd already declared 2 more conquest wars than my practice run, which was the 2 wars we did over in the east. Which meant that we already had enough piety. In the practice run I actually did another conquest war, just to speed up a little bit, which was fine, but that was not the case in this run, which is good, really. It meant that once we'd done this war, it was over and done with, which is obviously absolutely what you want. So I'd like to say this is a tense war that we're going back and forth here. It could have been anyone, but I mean they've got a few thousand troops and we have 10,000. Sometimes fellow Catholics will come to their defense. I didn't notice any this time around. The Benevento did. Bless you, 152 men. You're really stopping me here. So yeah, we're just sieging down the titles. So I mean, this is it. We've got 100%. And we've won the war, and we can reform the faith, and that's it. That reform button right there, and we've done it. That's by Jupiter. That's a speed achievement by the 28th of June 870. What's that? 3 years and nearly 6 months, just under. So yeah, pretty quick. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next speedrun, maybe. Who knows? See you around.